I like being a hippie.
I get to say it one more time. It's Thor's Day. Today we're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. We all saw the movie. We got some things to say about it. And also, we get to talk about our predictions and who was the closest. Might have been me. Just saying. Also, we have a lot of other news to talk about here. Some, news around Hasbro. There was a little bit of a sketch. Zatanna, since we're talking about sketches, done by Mr. Adam Hughes. Somebody was selling that for a good $3K, so we'll touch on that as well. Also, some SHAZAM news. Disney and Fox merger and acquisition. Is it going? Is it not? What would it mean for the industry as a whole? We'll touch on that. Netflix is coming out with a comic book, guys. Yep. Netflix. We'll be talking about that. And also, Brian Michael Bendis changing teams, changing jerseys. We'll be talking about that, what that might mean. And also, a book that we put up on Twitter. You guys voted on it. It's The Lost Batman. So we'll be talking about that and how much we loved it or didn't. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, you can see on the screen here is a little old Turkey Day picture. It's actually an homage of a Norman Rockwell painting. And this is the first movie poster for Deadpool 2. So just in time for the show, came out today, and just in time as well for Thanksgiving. So pretty cool. You get the whole cast there. You see Deadpool staying in the background, Cable, Dopinder, Domino. Who else is there? Blind Al's there. Everybody, the whole cast.
Who was the guy with the striped shirt that looks like Scottie Pippen?
That's Dopinder.
Okay, I was about to be like, what the hell? Why is Scottie Pippen in the movie?
Yeah, no, he's cool.
Oh, that's the taxi driver, right?
Yeah, he's a cool character. He's funny. Yeah. So, all right, let me take this. I just wanted to show you guys that and kind of get that part of the way. So we're gonna jump right into. I guess we can say what we were doing for the past week. You guys can kick it off because I have to go get my notebook with the numbers in it. I do all this prep all week long, and there's always something I forget. Today, that was what I forgot. So give me a second. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'll start off. So for me, for the week, I basically went ahead and just, work, things like that. And went to my local shop, found that they had a pretty decent collection of stuff that they had acquired. So they broke it up and they brought a bunch of books to the store. And I made a pretty good score from that. So I was pretty happy with that. I put it up a little. It was my last week's haul. And I put it up and everything. You guys should check it out. Like a lot of really good stuff for decent price. Other than that, just, same old, just kind of chilling out and, working and, baby and all the rest of that type of stuff. So just kind of going and, finding some time to myself when I can, but for the most part, just, hanging out with the baby and everything.
Sweet. Looking at the numbers here. Can't wait to share them.
You're about to be so happy.
We'll get to that. All right, so Chris was hanging out with the baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I caught. Cool.
Yep, and working and all the rest,
Nice. All right.
Nice. I'll go next because Edwin's still getting that grub on, man. He's got to get the nutritions so he can fully express the power of what's about to happen in this conversation.
That's right.
No. I had a good week. Early last week, I went a little eBay crazy. And I picked it up. If you didn't see it on Sunday Morning Comics, I got my slab 337. Everybody, look at that! Look at that 9.6, very pretty Beta Ray bill. So good, so good. So pull the trigger on that. Very happy to finally have it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looks pretty damn sweet in that slab.
Oh, and it's one of the new slabs too. It's huge.
Yeah, those are nice.
Compared to the older slabs, man, this thing's like double as thick. It's crazy.
Can you see what the one defect is that's making it from keeping it from being a 9.8?
No.
That's fine. I was just curious.
I mean,
know it's like a white cover, so it might be hard.
Yeah, the defect is tied graded.
It's 9.6 white pages, but no.
Yeah, no notes.
Of course, I'd have to pay to see the grader's notes because it's CGC. So, So that was the big one. I got another slab that I haven't shown off yet, but it's just a random book. No big deal. Like I said, I went a little crazy on eBay, but it's okay. It's not that bad. So that was the main highlights. I do have a little con I'm going to on Saturday though, so it's another one of those little like $5 cons. So hopefully, be able to find something cool there.
We always say those are the best ones, right?
They really are because there are actual comics there.
Yeah. Sweet. Looking forward to hearing what you pick up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, all right,
Sunday morning comics. It'll be there.
Yeah. Cool. Edwin.
I'll share my screen just for a second, real quick. Still doing press and service. If anybody wants to send me any books, I've been getting a lot of submissions actually lately, which is actually pretty awesome, and it's actually pretty rewarding to be able to press these books and just to get the reaction from people when they just love to get their books back in much better condition than when they sent me off. And then I'm actually kind of, let me see here, preparing for affordable auction number 9, which is going to be a week from this Sunday with the panel. Justin and Jesse and Chris is more than welcome to come on if he wants to slang some comics or stuff like that, but just kind of getting ready for that. And I got a lot more better books that I plan on selling. So just that little shameless plug there.
Sweet.
But other than that, that's it. I've just been buying a lot of stuff. Got a crap ton of stuff to list on eBay and trying to read and get caught up, as we talked about before we went live. So that's right. Pretty much it.
That's always the struggle, is trying to stay caught up on everything, you know. But, yeah, cool. All right, well, I'll tell you what I've been doing in a second. Nothing really special, but shout outs first. So we got Seeking Near Mint in here. Apparently he's leaving Hawaii, so he's going to be maybe not making some videos for a couple months. So congratulations to him and whatever that new chapter will be for him. Jackio just got here, so welcome to the show, Jackio. Comically Flawed as well. Philly Superman. I always love having Philly Superman here. I almost said congratulations. I meant to say shout out to Comic Frontline. A lot of great stuff going on over there, especially on Tuesdays when they do Frontline Live. Talk about comics. We love comics, so really great show. Jason Smith is here as well. We always have Jason Smith in the chat, so welcome to the show, Mr. Smith. Part of the New York Warriors, Jeff Johnson's here. Mayor Jeffy. Welcome to the show. And they're actually going to be having an auction as well. Feel free to tell us the date and time in the chat. But the New York Warriors are going to be doing an auction coming up pretty soon, I think. So definitely shout out to them as well. I know they've been more than accommodating with Edwin's auction as well, and putting it up and letting him kind of share the news for that. So we got to do the same back. So that's coming up for them. Fish Tropic is here as well. Of course, Big East Comics, another part of the New York Warriors. Well, boom, big chat. I saw Rebel Comics earlier. Don't know if you're still here, but shout out to you as well. NES Master with us as well. And that is pretty much it. Oh, Gomez. I saw Gomez before we got live, so I think he's still around. There you go. What's up?
Splash Page Comics.
Splash Page Comics, yes. Pressing is the bomb, he says.
We also got Jackio and Iron Galactus and Mr. Unknown Comics Guy.
That's right. So many people. I can't keep up.
That's right.
So
good crew.
More people show up. Yeah, love having everybody here. So this is on YouTube, of course, live chat every Thursday night, but also we are on iTunes. Just search for JL's Comics in the podcast section of iTunes. Take it, stream it, download it, subscribe over there as well. Something, you can kind of listen to in the car on your way to work. A lot of the stuff we do, I know I showed a picture at the beginning, but a lot of it is just audio. So you can kind of just press play and take us on the go that way as well. So just want to do that little plug there. But what have I been doing this week? I got a couple things. I got something in the mail I was hoping to unbox today. I was planning on doing that for my little catch-up piece here, just unboxing that. Cool book, Minor Key, character that I like. So I will be, I don't either, Seeking Near Mint. So I'll do it in a back issue haul I got coming up. So that's what I got coming up. And of course, Thor Ragnarok. This is my segue into the talk about it. Saw Thor Ragnarok. What'd you guys think about it? Would you?
Oh, it was good. It was really good.
Cool. Tell me more than that.
I liked it a lot, even though, like I've said a couple times, there were a couple things that they changed from the comics. So, but other than that, whatever, it's the movie universe. I think they did a great job. I had a lot of fun with the movie too. And I think that was a tone that was maybe missing more so from the first two Thor movies, and that kind of like gave this one a lot of life, was that there was that like kind of fun energy throughout this movie, even though there was serious stuff going on. It was, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I the same thing. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was fun to see all the comedy element that they put in there as well. Just kind of a lot of the jokes. I mean, even Hela had jokes when she what was it? She was talking with Executioner, and he starts telling her. So she's like, "I'm gonna stop you right there." She's like, "I'm not trying to go into that part. Like, what are your visions? What are your dreams? You know what I mean?" It was like, everybody had a little bit of a joke and something to say that was funny. Loki and Thor had a great dynamic together. I mean, even though you expect them to be enemies and at odds, there's some really funny parts that they had together. And then overall, visually it was great. It was really good. The interaction with Thor and the Hulk was awesome. Overall it was a really good and fun movie. Like I can definitely say that if that's the way that they wanted to do that kind of movie going forward, I'd be all for it again. I think that you can't have every movie kind of inject all that humor into it, but
right.
Overall, I think that this was it was good to kind of break up all the seriousness that's been the first two. So and the Avengers and everything else, like those never really has too much of a comedic element to them, but so it was a good break.
Also really, really liked Valkyrie.
Yes. Yeah, she was good.
Tessa Thompson did a great job. That was an awesome character.
Well, what's funny too is that in the movie, so for anybody who's like, but that's not the one that's in the comics. The comic Valkyrie is in the movie. She's there for about 2 seconds, but she's in the movie.
Yeah, she is.
Yep.
Yeah. In the flashback.
And like you said, she was a Valkyrie.
Yes.
She wasn't the Valkyrie or whatever you want to say.
Yep.
But so they worked it in perfectly. It was, it was completely fine with me.
Well, what's her name? Like her real name isn't Valkyrie, I assume.
The actress?
In the comics.
Oh.
She was a Valkyrie, right? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
No, there was like a whole legion of Valkyries. It was like a female horse cavalry almost.
It looked like that the Valkyries took the place of like the 10th realm angels, since they were riding in on like Pegasi. Whole bunch of flying horses, man. Whole bunch of flying horses.
Well, it definitely put things into perspective, because when you watch that trailer and you see, Hela throwing the sword and the horses and all that stuff, and you definitely figure out what's going on. And I would encourage anybody to watch it a second time. It definitely helped put things into better perspective for me, watching it a second time. But the film was great, man. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the highest grossing Thor film to date.
Probably, yeah.
And
it crossed 500 million today
already. Wow.
Yes.
$500 million.
So it's definitely a Blu-ray purchase, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's a worldwide number, not just here in the US.
Right. Yeah, we don't need to talk about numbers or anything like that.
You want to skip that part? Yeah. No, I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely, like Justin said, my favorite of the movies. It was fun, if nothing else. I kind of just watched the movie just to have fun with it, and then kind of do my critical thinking of it later. But while I was sitting there just having fun with it, it was just a blast all the way through. Laughing, Korg, is pretty different than the character.
Right.
But he was freaking hilarious. That was, like, hey guys, it's Korg,
They even did what they did. They borrowed a little bit from Guardians of the Galaxy too, where it was just like they had even the music was kind of and with some of the jokes and everything, like you know, when you first see, I guess when Thor first starts up fighting, you know, they play you know, Immigrant Song, the Led Zeppelin, and you know, for the reason why is because, you know, within the first like line is Hammer of the Gods, you know, and say, you know, talking about basically like, you know, Norse mythology, like Valhalla, you know, all the rest of it, and but it's funny, like so he's fighting and then when he, you know, later on when he does it again and he's more serious this time, it's like so much more badass to hear it again and then see what he's doing. It's like they did a really good job with all of it. Like they just kind of they really thought this one out. I think that's where they kind of missed in the second one, was that they kind of just put it together, put it out there, and while it was decent, I mean, it was good at the time and everything. It's just like this blows it away because just like, you know, they really tapped into what they could do and how they could tell a story and really just make it a different experience from everything else you've seen.
Well, they did the that was really the only song in my opinion that really stood out. I didn't really pay attention to any of the other songs that were being played, but you know, it was well timed in my opinion, and I didn't think it had as strong of a soundtrack as Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2 did, but it was it was such a good film. And you know, I'm curious because everybody was talking about this film as soon as that first trailer dropped. Man, everybody's expectations was just like way up here, and so like, do you think it met everybody's expectations? It met mine.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like I wasn't sure how they were going to do it with the Hulk and everything. And I mean, that was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And, you know, like I definitely hit all my expectations. I thought it was really good. And, you know, I'm actually looking forward to see what they're going to do with him going forward. Like what's next with Thor and everything like that. So, you know, I know there won't be another Thor movie before the Avengers, but, you know, if they end up doing a, you know, fourth part of Thor later on, like I'm excited to see what they're going to do with
4. Yeah.
Thor 4.
Yeah, it was pretty I mean, yes, there was references to like, you know, Age of Ultron, you know, other movies, you know, but by and large this was pretty much a self-contained story, right? There wasn't really like, this is kind of like, I know we have Black Panther coming up, right?
100 days.
Yeah, but this is kind of like one of the last movies before Infinity War, right? So there was no real, other than a little bit at the end. Are we doing spoilers?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's still kind of fresh, so it's tough to say.
Okay, so I won't
spoil it. I would wait.
Let us know in the chat if y'all want it spoiled or not.
Yeah, you guys let us know. But I mean,
okay, so I won't say that. I'll just say, other than a little piece at the end, there wasn't a whole lot of connection to what's coming up. In the last part of this phase here for the MCU, which I liked, but again, you know, it would have been nice to have a little bit of a connection there to that. And speaking of connections, actually, I thought it was really cool how they did the they kind of addressed a discrepancy in the MCU with the Infinity Gauntlet, the actual Infinity Gauntlet that Odin had. When Hela was walking through the chamber, she's like, boop, fake. So because we saw it, I think it was it first Thor?
First Thor,
yeah. So we had it, but that gauntlet had all of the stones on it, all the gems.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did he get that if they're still searching for it? But so it's
well, he actually put it on. Was it Age of Ultron where you see Thanos put it on?
Yeah, but Thanos has the real one.
Yeah, and the real one has no stones in it.
Exactly.
That's what he says. Is like, I'll do it myself. And yeah, I think that was more of a basically, it seems as though like, because she makes it known that Odin, you know, Odin himself doesn't fully, you know, put the truth out there. I think in order to let everybody, you know, feel like, you know, this is safe, we have it protected, no problem. But she knows just by looking at it, that's not real. That's not it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think that they're doing a smart thing with that too. I think that by them not, you know, going too much into like, all right, you know, Infinity War and a lot of different things that are going to lead directly into that movie. I think they're still pretty much letting you know that, you know, there's still time before you hit that area. And, you know, they want to make sure that like, you know, when they finally do get ready to put that out there, that, you know, it's going to be just that big and epic of a moment that kind of like when you first saw him at the end of the in the end credits of the Avengers movie, where it's just like, now you're ready for this movie. I think right now, even still, we're still kind of not. I think they still have some stuff up their sleeve that they want to show everybody, but they're just kind of doing that slow build in order to really make people excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's still another stone out there, another gem.
Yep, the soul gem.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you. There was 2 of them in the chamber, right? What? Because she goes, this one is weak, and then this one's not bad. Are both of those
the Tesseract? There's a Tesseract, and then
a Cosmic Cube.
Yeah, Cosmic Cube.
Yeah. Was that what it was?
And one of them, actually, if you saw the Infinity War, the leaked footage, you can see Loki giving that to Thanos.
And I was talking to somebody, or there was a discussion on Facebook, and someone's like, someone had made mention of what's going to happen with this and that, and I said, I'm pretty sure that Loki has the Tesseract because just when you watch the movie, he's got the perfect opportunity for it. And then if you've seen that leaked footage, I mean, he's clearly giving it over. So someone's like, no, it's not true. I'm like last time I saw him, he didn't even have it. I'm like, that's a long time ago. Watch the movie, you'll change your opinion.
Exactly right. Oh, also, did you guys notice the scene where Hela crushes the hammer? It was changed up a little bit from the actual trailer.
Right.
Like that took place in an alley, and then in the movie,
Loki wasn't there.
Yeah, they're like out in the grass in Norway. So they changed that up at the last minute.
I wonder if that was like, they just didn't have the CGI ready for it or something, or
they wanted it to be different. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think they just wanted to. I think it was a deliberate change, not like a crap, we're running out of time type of thing.
So everybody said spoil it, and if you haven't,
all right, gloves are off. I love it.
Okay, so what I was talking about there was that one of the end credit scenes where they're all on the ship at the end, Asgard is destroyed, and then this big ship comes down. That's called the Sanctuary 2, and that's Thanos' ship.
Yeah, and it's like massive.
It looks like Thanos' ship,
Yeah,
it's massive. It dwarfs the ship that they are on.
But you know what ship they're on, y'all?
Piece of ship.
Scuttlebutt. That's Beta Ray Bill's ship.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was actually kind of fun. And I mean, I know everybody. I won't say everybody, but I know a lot of people had seen it. That there was there's that Beta Ray Bill statue, like the 4 statues. So I guess it's like the 4 champions, the former champions, and it's like Beta Ray Bill, Man Thing, and then I think Hulk,
Ares,
one of the other one, and Ares, yeah. And it was just like so that was kind of cool. Quick little Easter egg, but also. So the scene I'm talking about in the movie, basically for the destruction of Asgard, to stop Hela, they have to get Suda's skull, and basically when his skull, when his helmet or whatever it is hits the eternal flame, he'll become humongous and destroy Asgard. So
that was cool.
As Loki's gonna go ahead and do that, you see him walking past, and the Cosmic Cube, Tesseract, and then he just kind of. They go back and show you a little bit of like the destruction, everything that's going on, and then he's like, puts the skull in the flame, and then Suda comes. So it's just like during that time, you can't tell me that he didn't steal it. He absolutely stole it. He has it on him, and he's just keeping his mouth shut until the time is right. And so he's probably going to use that to bargain his life away from Thanos, because Thanos already said he was going to make him pay for messing things up in the first place. So I feel like he's going to give that over. Give Thanos another Infinity Stone, and then basically either be pardoned or betrayed and killed. One of the two.
Yeah.
So is the Hela, is she the death that Thanos falls in love with?
No. That's Lady Death. She's
no. But that's what we're saying, Chris. In the movies, Hela is death.
Okay.
They're not goddess of death. Second character as death. They're just going to use Hela as who Thanos will be infatuated with.
Instead of bringing in a whole new death character, she's going to be death that Thanos is in love with. Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to show you guys this so you don't see that I crossed anything out. If you look up there, 122.5 was my estimate. The final
number.
115?
Damn it.
Yep. Justin 137, Chris 115, Edwin 118, Comically Flawed 112. I'm talking millions here. NES Master said 92 million. Jason Smith said 500 billion. No, he didn't. He said 150. Well, he did, but he changed it to 150. Iron Galactus said 160 million. Jackio said 103. Philly Superman, a cool 100 million. Kingdom Comics said 132. Splash Page came in at 120. And then Amazing Hater Nader said 33 million. Talk about Amazing Murph Nader. He came in super low. So the final number was 122,744,989. So 122.7. So I was 0.2 off on it.
Good job.
There you go.
The closest without going over.
That's right. I would have automatically lost, right?
Price of the showcase. Apply.
Yeah. So Mr. Unknown, yes, you said Mr. Unknown.
What do you say?
137.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
Here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, well, my two things were all right. The things they changed in the movie, the two things that stood out the most to me were, of course, Hela, now being Thor and Loki's sister, Thor's sister anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically merged her and Angela there.
Yep.
And then, of course, Mjolnir just being a toy, not really being anything.
Yeah. That was kind of...
I was like, no.
They had that little last dragon moment where it's like, you know, the power is inside of you the whole time, Leroy. Don't you understand that? It's just like, I felt bad for that too, because I'm just like, you know, Mjolnir deserves its due. Like, that was a big slap in the face of Mjolnir.
Yeah, but like I said, it's the movie universe, so that's fine. I mean, it worked well for the story and where they were going with the story and things like that. So I don't really have an issue with it.
I'm just hoping that they give him, like, even though, you know, all right, you know, Mjolnir is gone and you have the power inside of you, but wouldn't it be nice to have something to focus it back through again? So I hope they give him some type of, you know, weapon to go ahead and still, you know, channel all that lightning and power through.
That was awesome seeing him like with the lightning and everything. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was like Super Saiyan Thor.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, oh, shit's going down.
I mean, because the first time you see it was with the fight with Hulk. And I mean, it was cool during that. I was like, wow, like, you know, how, because I started, you know, watching. I'm like, how are they gonna end this? Because those, you know, Hulk's getting more angry, and those kind of like, you know, they're just going back and forth, and then it was just like, all right, you know, you nail them, draw, you know, over with, you know, but yeah, it was a good movie. I mean, that was a great scene too, like in the Coliseum. Jeff Goldblum was hilarious. Like, you know, I want to see. I want to see
anything about that.
I want to see more.
That's kind of weird.
It's funny. I love the end credit scene where it's just like, all right, so I played a big part in this revolution, and I'm glad I did. So
can't have a revolution without somebody to overthrow. Hey,
that's right. He's like, and I just want to let you know, it's a tie. Thank you. Goodbye. Like, it's just like, oh my god, that's funny.
I gotta admit though, like, I out of all the fights that you see in these MCU movies, I think that's got to be the one that everybody wants to see. But I gotta admit though, that one where Iron Man had the Hulk armor, that was a cool fight scene. That was sick.
Well, that was funny too when he like hit him and then like Hulk got pissed off. He's like,
the Hulkbuster.
The Hulkbuster,
yeah.
When he nailed him in the face and like I mean, he hits him with everything he has, boom, and then Hulk just like looks up at him and angry. He's like, I'm sorry.
That was fun.
That was fun. And I mean, I remember the other one that was really good was a showdown between Iron Man. Actually, the fight between Iron Man and Captain America and Civil War was great too. That's definitely up there as far as one of the best fights that I've seen. I mean, I would say that this. I would say that still tops out as the best fight for me when it's, you know, Iron Man taking on both Winter Soldier and Captain America. I think that was a great fight. It was really good choreographed.
Yeah. So you think Hela survived?
Yeah, I think she survives.
She's. I mean, that's part of Ragnarok, is everything's gonna die and then come back. So yeah, like Odin will eventually pop back up, as he always does. Hela will pop back up because somebody has to guard, you know, the dead. So
yeah. I mean, I don't think she's gone. I just think that, you know, she's probably just
She was probably just banished back to where she was, you know?
Exactly, yeah. To that other dimension, and then, then Thanos maybe, like, rips, space-time and whatever, and she's able to step out again, and, then he's like, hey, baby, how you doing? You never know.
Guys, hit me with, we got like a week or two. No, next week, actually. So the embargo for Justice League ends on the 15th, which is next week. And that's like 2 days before it opens. But hit me with some predictions for that movie.
All right. Let's see. All right. I'm honestly going to go higher than I did for Thor, just because the fact is, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily better. I just think that because everybody's in the mood of superhero, it's going to be out during, close enough to holidays and stuff that it's going to end up getting a lot of kickbacks and stuff like that. So I think opening weekend, that's 145.
We're talking about
145. I honestly, just because, say what you will, I mean, the quality, in my opinion, I think the quality is not as good, but DC has been making a lot of money with those movies, so 145 I think is a safe estimate.
I'm sorry, I was
complaint letters to Chris.
Justice League.
Complaint letters.
So we're already doing predictions for Justice League?
Yeah, because the embargo ends on.
It's coming out quick, so yeah,
next week.
Yeah, I'm writing down people in the chat here, so some people giving them off.
What do you got, Justin?
I'm thinking, man. I don't know, man. This one, just because the name of the movie is Justice League, that alone makes me feel like people are just going to turn out for it.
Yeah.
And Batman. Batman and Wonder Woman are going to be the cash cows.
Oh, yeah. It's a Batman movie. But Wonder Woman's in it. Everybody's going high. Everybody's well over 100 million. So I think that's true. It's also leading into like the Thanksgiving week, where a lot of people have that week off anyway coming up.
Exactly.
So man, this movie could do crazy numbers. I'll say 135.
135.
Yep. And watch, Aquaman's gonna come out as the breakout.
Oh yeah, without question, Jason Momoa is gonna kill it for this.
3 million. Splash says $3 million.
That's right.
I'm telling you, man. 145, I think, is a safe estimate.
Yeah, I was gonna say about 142. No, 141. 141.
Like Hulk? No, wait, never mind. That's 142. Valkyrie. Caddy King, 94 million. Okay. I think I got everybody. Splash. You want to up that by about 127 million?
Oh, now he's down to $3.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. I can't pick a number. Someone else already picked here, so dang.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 128. 128 million. Big E's 150. I'm writing these down. All right, cool. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. See what it was. All right, so as I'm writing these down, we'll just move on to the next thing here, and that is that Red Sonja is getting a reboot, franchise reboot. Planned as a franchise, a trilogy, coming back to the big screen, new story, new cast. It's not going to be Bridget Nielsen.
Is Arnold going to be?
It's part of the whole. What do they call it? Where's he from?
Marion.
Highgard.
No. That's where, yeah. So I don't know if Conan will be in it or if he'll be like part of the franchise. So like kind of building out the world. But at least for now, it's just going to be Red Sonja. Who's going to play her, we don't know. But I think that's pretty cool to bringing it back.
They dust off Brigitte Nielsen. She's like, I got one more Red Sonja left. And we're like, no, you don't. It's been a long time.
Flavor Flav will be Conan.
Flavor Flav too. He get the horns and everything. Like, yeah, boy. Let me take it.
Yeah, boy. Time's up for Red Sonja.
Conan tolerates.
Yo, G-Thos of Doom is starting trouble again, man. Yo, Chuck, tell him what we're gonna do.
150. All right, I think I got everybody.
Red Sonja, I think that's a good one to reboot, just because it's been such a long time, and you can really just change that whole. You can really do a lot now. I mean, with all the different technology to make it really stand out and really flesh out that world. So, and that, who knows, maybe that will lead to a Conan movie. I know that Schwarzenegger teased King Conan forever. I mean, and he's been getting himself back into shape for it, but I don't know if they would go and do the old Conan, or if they'll continue on with the Jason Momoa Conan franchise that they started up.
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens.
Who knows? Yeah, franchises are tough. Actually, there was just some news, and we don't have it on the list here. I'm just kind of mentioning it, but the Dark Universe, the MonsterVerse from Universal, it's in serious trouble. That might not continue. They had a lot of plans for that. Yeah, Bride of Frankenstein, Angelina Jolie, all these big names were going to be tied to it, but I'm not sure if that's going to continue.
It's all because the Mummy flopped, and then the head of the person who was heading up that universe quit. He said, "Fuck it, I'm done."
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more than just the flop. I think there's probably some internal struggles that we don't know about yet, that'll probably come to light later on. But and it's sad, because like those monsters deserve a good due. Like they should go ahead and make those movies again, especially now. I mean, like, can you imagine the Wolfman? What's it, Frankenstein, all that type of stuff? I mean, that would be incredible. But
it's a shame.
It is.
It's a crying shame.
Do you think, I didn't see that Mummy movie, so I don't know if it was the story that was bad, or if it was the fact that maybe audiences are just tired of Tom Cruise being pushed on us. I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think it didn't do well, Jesse?
Wasn't good.
All right. There you go. It just wasn't good, ladies and gentlemen.
Although and I forget her name, but I like the actress who played one of the mummies. Because it turns out Tom Cruise is actually the mummy. Spoiler.
Gun.
Yeah. Dang it. No, but I forget her name. She's a really good dancer. Like, check her out on YouTube. Something like her. She's like a b-boy style dancer. Like, it's really good what she does. Like, it would have been cool to see like the mummy break out into some of that in the movie, but I forget her name. But anyways, all right. So we got that back on topic. Red Sonja, super cool. Okay, let's jump to the next thing here. We got a lot to go through, so we don't want to dwell too much on some things. But Paramount and Hasbro have signed a 5-year film and production pact. So they're going to be kind of redoing the whole Hasbro universe, bringing a lot of like the Hasbro properties to film. So that sounds pretty cool. Finally maybe get some good G.I. Joe movies,
Yeah. Does that mean that they get to write the ship on Transformers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank Christ.
I think so. I don't know Michael Bay, how much influence he has in that, but yeah.
Do not even go near that shit. You're not allowed. Anyone who worked with Michael Bay, don't go near it. You're not allowed. Like anybody who had anything to do with the Transformers franchise up till now, under Michael Bay, you are banned from even coming near. Don't even say Transformers.
I thought he was still attached to the next Transformers.
He better not be attached to it. They better attach him now. Amputate.
I read a while back, so I can't cite the source right now. I could probably find it if anyone wants to challenge me, but he has written 17 scripts for new movies. Yeah, so he's like, I wrote all these. I can keep going forever as long as they keep making money.
Right, and so he's on it. They're still making money. Like, that's not done. This isn't going to be part of this franchise reboots or anything like that. Transformers is its own beast, and it's still going strong, even if we don't like it.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right, cool. So that should be interesting. What's coming from that, and kind of along these lines, tied right to it, is on Comic Art Fans. There was I don't know if it was flipped or if somebody bought it from the person who was at the Adam Hughes booth. I don't remember the story, but it was a Zatanna sketch, and it was being sold for $3,000. It's no longer for sale, so you can't see it now. I don't know if it was pulled or it hit its mark, but so there's that Zatanna, $3,000. So Adam Hughes was like, "Oh man, these people are making some bank off my money, so I'm gonna up my price to $1,000. And if you don't want to complain, check out that Zatanna for $3,000. So that's kind of where he's at, and a lot of people are upset about it. And then there's the other side of the fence who's like, well, his product can make that much money, and he'll charge the maximum that the market will bear. And so there's two sides to that. So where are you guys on the fence? Are you like, fuck you, Adam Hughes, or are you like, yeah, get your money, Adam Hughes?
I will give you my thoughts on it. So what it comes down to is that sketch never sold. It was posted up 3 months ago. It was posted initially. I think the initial posting date was August 23rd. So it was posted up there, never sold. The person wanted $3,000 for it. So then Adam Hughes decides to look it up. Oh, he just decides to go on there, looks it up, and sees it on November 5th, and gets pissed off and says, you know what, for everyone who thinks $1,000 is too much, this is what we're doing, and this is why I charge what I'm gonna have to go up and charge to drive the flippers out, which is one of the biggest bullshit excuses I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite fuck you, Adam Hughes, but I am definitely where it comes down to, like, look, dude, don't use a bullshit excuse. Just say, look. You could even go ahead and say, for my time and money and for what I think I'm worth, I'm gonna up the charges when it comes to this type of commission. And I understand some people are gonna be upset, but that's what I'm doing. At least it's something. But don't sit there and put it on the guys, I'm gonna drive the flippers out. No, you're not. You're gonna make it fucking worse. Because if you're charging $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it is, you can bet your ass that because you're making it a premium collectible, they're gonna get it and then go back and flip it again, and for $5,000. Then when you say, well, these guys, I gotta go ahead and make, it's just like, if you really want to drive the flippers out, charge $10 for it, personalize them. No one's gonna buy art with somebody else's name on it. Personalize it. If you think that it's gonna be if you want it to be some type of piece of art that you think is supposed to be treasured and not resold, whatever, personalize it. No one will do. And the thing is, and he's right, it is his art and he can charge whatever he wants. That's fine. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is just the cop out excuse of, I'm doing it to get rid of the flippers, because you'll never get rid of them. Never. The whole reason being is because the whole reason that comics are even popular now is because of the fact that they are collector's item and people are sought after for them. If not for that, nobody would give a shit. Nobody would be paying for Comic-Cons. Would still be held in hotel lobbies and stuff like that. It's big business. And I think that for him to kind of go back and worry about what somebody else is doing with, at that point, their property, because he can say whatever he wants. He got paid. He got paid what he thought was right at the time. If the other person goes and sells it for a profit, that's none of your fucking business. And I'll say that
he was selling it for what he thought his work was worth at the time.
Exactly.
Right? Just because someone else who bought it later thought it was worth more is not their fault or his fault. It was, he got what he wanted. He got exactly what he asked for at the time he sold it.
There you go. And that's the way I look at it. So you can't sit there and say, like, I'm losing money. No, you're not, motherfucker. You got what you had coming to you. What you thought. Listen, you set the price. That person agreed and paid you, and then you got the product. Is this? If the guy wanted to go ahead and take it out and take a shit on it, it's his fucking thing. He can do it. And the other thing too that the other point I would point out to it is this: would he be pissed off if the guy sold it for $500 if he wasn't able to get his money back, or if it was lower than what he actually charged him? Probably not. So that's why I call bullshit on it. I think he's being really just upset about the money and the fact that somebody, is making money off of something that he did, and it's like, well, I'm not making that money. That's fucked up. Well, too bad. Then charge more, and at that point, hope that no one goes ahead and sells it. But I think that if you either drop the price way lower, or if you just went ahead and personalized it, you wouldn't have the problem that you have.
Yeah.
So,
how much did he originally charge?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Adam Hughes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay, I mean, that's fine if he wants to up his price. That's completely that's up to him. It's his business. He sees that his stuff is going for more than what he's selling it for. Sure, up your price. That's fine. What it's going to come down to is there still going to be the demand when you up the price on it? Are you going to have as many orders as you did before? Or are you then going to run yourself into a corner where now you have to back off of those remarks and lower your price again to get your customer base back up?
That's what will happen.
There's that potential.
That's what we're waiting on to see. So
you also got to think too. Is just like, all right, if you're gonna come out and be like, I'm going with this high price, who has the money for that? People are going to go ahead and try to flip it and make more money off of it. So like you're enabling instead of trying to you're trying to destroy your enabling, whether he wants to believe that or not. Like, and that's his problem. You know, he's not thinking in terms of, well, if I want to drive these people out, or if I want to take away their ammunition, I should, you know, kind of go this way with it, or, you know, maybe take a different approach. Not like try. I mean, it's always going to be, you know, just the way he's going about it is wrong in that way. And then to blame a third party for what you're doing because you don't like that somebody else made money on it. It's a bullshit excuse. That's my thought on it.
Yeah.
So,
there's a couple of things I want to say about this. Number one, look at Neil Adams, his ridiculous prices for a head sketch. Every time he's been to Houston and Dallas Fan Expo, I hardly see anybody at his booth because his prices are just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the people that I have heard
to take a picture,
$20 for a signature too. And
actually,
the people,
he's doing $10.
No, $10 for the first signature.
Yeah.
And then 50 for the second one.
what?
Else.
Yeah.
Oh, he's smoking rocks. But anyways, the people that I have talked to who have had a sketch by Neil Adams were extremely disappointed at what they got for the money that they spent. But and the second thing, Kevin Eastman, he knows he can get more money for his little sketches, but he last time I checked, it's only like $20 for just a little quick sketch. And that dude is super cool, man, because he knows people are flipping his pieces and getting them yellow labeled and slabbed and selling them and stuff like that. And I just don't think he cares because he's a working artist and he gets a lot of makes a lot of money doing what he does right now.
Yeah. The people complaining are a lot of the old school guys, like the old class of, you know, artists and people who aren't really up on the new technology and kind of the way the market is right now. Right. You have like who was it that was complaining? Well, there's been quite a few now. Anyways, they've all been older guys. So I don't know.
The thing about it, like, you know, is that when you look at it, you have to think about just the actual medium it is. I mean, it's something where people are attracted to comics and collecting and everything like that. Initially, you start out, you know, as a kid or whatever, because of the fact that it's the art and everything like that. But as you get older and you realize that, like, you know, there's value to some of this stuff, like, you start taking care of it. If it wasn't, then none of us would have things in bags and boards and boxes. We would just literally take them, read them, and probably throw them out. Same, like, it's similar to having like a Sports Illustrated subscription. You get the magazine and, you know, you read it. Okay, that's great. This month's over. I throw it out and then go on to the next one. Like that's where it comes down to. So it's just like, you got to realize that, like, you know, it's something where there's going to be value for it. There's going to be different things that happen, and people are going to go ahead and sell and resell, and that it's just the way it is, just because that's how it, you know. And so someone like Kevin Eastman, who's like, yeah, you know, like you say, like, he doesn't care because he realizes that's what he's in. Like, you have to kind of go about that, and you can't get mad that other people are, you know, making money with it. I mean, just because, you know, it's such a thing where people look at it and it's like, oh, it's such a dirty thing to do. Why? Because, I mean, it's there. Like, if any one of us was sitting on, you know, an Action Comics #1, you know, would you not sell it? I mean, come on now. You can easily get $1 million just like, I get this one thing that's worth $1 million. If I just sell it right now, I can get it. You know what I mean?
Well, let's be honest here. A lot of people spend a lot of money on these things, and sometimes, let's just be honest, sometimes people spend money that they don't have.
Oh, of course, and you got to get it back somehow.
Yeah, and so my point in saying that is that, and I've said this before in the past, that there's been times when I've hit hard times and I've had to actually sell artwork, signature slabs. I had to sell stuff because we hit financially hard times, and I can't just be sitting on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not doing any good being in my collection when I need money. So
right,
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a question, and, you know, is this customer base based on resellers? For a lot of it, yeah. I mean, you look at it, it's just like, you have the collectors, yes. You have the people that, you know, will go ahead and buy these things and cherish them and keep them. Like, there's people that have bought his, you know, variants that like the Harley Quinn #1, you know, and everything like that, you know. But then all of a sudden you find out it's worth $800. Just like, why am I going to keep this if it's worth $800? Let's just, you know, was it the Edge of Spider-Verse, the first Gwen pool? There's a variant. And I saw like a guy who posted on a Facebook group. He's like, you know, I was thinking of charging $1,500 for this on eBay. You know, do you think it's too much? And you know, one person was like, you know, yeah, that's way too much. And he's like, well, I put it up there for that a best offer, and I got offered $1,300 like right from the get go. So that like. There's comics out there that are just, you know, they're worth a lot of money, and that's just the way it is. It's not so much something that you have, you know, it's not so much of a reseller's market. It's just that if you buy it, it's your property. You do whatever you want with it after. It really shouldn't matter. And the fact that somebody's going to go ahead and look up and be like, oh, like this guy's trying to sell some shit. So what? I don't care what. You shouldn't give a shit what I do with it. It's not yours anymore. It's mine. So
true that.
I think that's the attitude that Walt Disney would have if they continue the talks with 21st Century Fox about purchasing a few pieces of the company. Yeah. Right. They recently, there was some news from CNBC where they were talking about Disney and 21st Century Fox holding talks to sell, you know, a few parts of the company. They wouldn't be purchasing all of Fox.
Yeah.
It would be like, you know, Fox Sports, Fox News, and the Fox business side would remain with Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
But they would take a lot of the other stuff, a lot of the franchises, right? X-Men, Kingsman, you know, a bunch of those other franchises.
Yep. The Simpsons.
Yeah. But they're not currently talking, and it's at this moment. So that's not to say it's completely dead. It's just to say that they're not currently negotiating.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't talk about what that would mean for everything kind of being rolled up and under the Feige, right? The Feigeverse.
Yeah.
And also, what would it mean for like, I guess, well, that's not as pertaining to our stuff here, like for Fox. They're just kind of restructuring. That would make them mean and lean, you know, like the Fox Sports and Fox News. Those are some serious money makers, and they could really kind of do some stuff with that. So that might be like a trim the fat sort of strategy for Rupert Murdoch's, right? But let's talk about Disney and Fox. Like, you know, what would happen, or what would you like to see? I would like to see Avengers versus X-Men, but what would you like to see kind of happen with the X franchise kind of being rolled up into the MCU? Would you like that, or would you want them to keep it separate?
No, it'd be crazy. I mean, imagine that. Like, you know, now you have, you know, you have interactions between these different characters. That, you know, you could have, you know, something where, you know, you have like Scarlet Witch and you know, I mean, unfortunately, you know, was it Quicksilver's still dead, but you know, you could now call them mutants. You could now, you know, have a lot of the, you know, other classic storylines, you know, that involve some crossovers, you know, taking place. You know, it would be great to see that. I mean, just to see, just to be able to, you know, kind of piece everything together and have it kind of be like, you know, just bigger overall. You know, and you could have Nick Fury and you know, go ahead and just introduce it on. But look, you know, we you know, the Maximals was just the first. There's so many others out there. Like, look at this. You know what I mean? It just would it would go crazy. And then, I mean, we haven't gotten to the Fantastic Four side of it, but I already know where everyone would even go with it. I mean, there's part of it that's even in the chat already. But I mean, you know, if they get, I'll go this way with it. If they get Fantastic Four back, Phase 4 is going to be all about them. Galactus is going to be the main villain,
Galactus,
and it's going to just
Doom,
like literally, that whole like 48, 49, and 50 are going to become untouchable, because those are going to be the next humongous books that, you know, just go and explode in value.
Well, I got to be honest, man. Disney has done a great job at telling stories. I just hate the idea of a monopoly forming. But
not quite a monopoly, though. They still get.
I mean, if they get to the point where they own everything, which they're trying to buy up everything, and they got the money to buy up everything,
it seems like they're mostly trying to buy back their properties. I
mean,
that's what I think is. So it's not really a monopoly in that way. They're just trying to get back rights that they gave away.
Another thing that they're really trying to do is strategize and make sure that they do have a very big library, but make sure that they have enough content so when they finally roll out their own streaming service, they'll have a shit ton of stuff. And we're going to talk about a couple of things in a minute. But part of this is that strategy positioning against like the Netflixes and things like that, the streaming content. So
I'm gonna be honest. The Disney streaming service makes me nervous as far as what they're gonna charge and what it's because it's not gonna like.
Yeah,
I can't see it being like for the easy introductory price of what Netflix was. And it still kind of to an extent is. I think they're gonna go for the gusto and be like, look, we're gonna replace cable and everything else. It's gonna be like $60 a month, and it's just like you're gonna have to choose between
I thought you meant
this and that. It's just like.
But people are still gonna be able to hack that and get around that and stuff like that.
Yeah. True. But I mean, do you think that they would take all those shows like Simpsons and stuff like that like off of regular cable?
No, because it's worth too much in syndication. Like, I mean, a lot of these shows they will, but you got to think like any of the shows that make it to syndication, it's one of those things where you want it on a ton of other channels because you're getting that syndicated revenue plus the commercial revenue. It's going to be more than your subscriber base on an online platform is going to give you at this point.
That's true.
So I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, I think it's if Disney does it right and they open up their actual film vault to where you get to see all the Disney cartoons and animated films and things like that, that's going to be their big cash cow for that. That's going to be like a ton of families. Like, Chris, you'll get it because
I'll have no choice.
Yeah.
Like, my wife is one of the biggest Disney fans on this planet. Like, she'd be like, we're getting the Disney thing, right? Like, I guess so. I mean, I would have literally be like gun to my head, like, we're getting it right? Like, yeah, of course we're getting it. Yeah.
We got it. I mean, it's
put the money in the bag. What money? I don't have any more.
I see it being more something like that. I mean, of course, they're going to have like everything that they have on it, but that's going to be their main selling.
Yeah. So they are talking also about pulling from Netflix their Marvel content, so like Defenders and all that. So that would it sounds like that's now going to be going over there. And also, this is half of what I was going to talk about towards the end here. It fits right now, so I'll mention it. A live action Star Wars original series on the streaming service, which would kind of roll out right at the beginning when they first launch it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think one of the talks is that instead of doing, because they've been doing like the anthology movies, and one of them there's a list of the ones that they want to do. One of them was Boba Fett. So the talk is that this, instead of doing a Boba Fett movie, that this will be like a bounty hunter sort of a show.
So that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Really be cool.
And I guess I can mention it now since we're talking about Star Wars, but it was just announced today that Kathleen Kennedy said, "Hey, Rian Johnson, do you want to make a Star Wars trilogy all your own from the ground up that's not tied to the Skywalker saga?" And he said, "Why, yes, I would, Mrs. Kennedy." so he's going to be doing his own saga, his own trilogy of movies, and it's supposed to be set in an area that we haven't really explored before. So like the unknown region, like where Snoke came from or where Thrawn came from, like the unknown region, maybe. Also, people are like, well, this would be a great opportunity to do Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. Right? Oh my God.
That would be amazing, right?
That would be cool.
So yeah, pretty cool.
So fun. Oh my God, please.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But it's pretty amazing that not only did Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy has like super tight control over the whole franchise and the property, and like that's been a lot like with Phil Lord and Chris Miller and some of these other directors. Like the reason they left was that creative control. Like they wanted to make a movie and put their own style on it. She's like, no, it has to like fit in these specific parameters. So a lot of people have like had to walk away or been fired. He was successful, and not only was he successful, especially with The Last Jedi, like they must be so happy with what he did with Last Jedi to like say, here, make your own trilogy for us,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, if he basically realized the vision, I mean that's a huge honor that they trust him, and I mean that she trusts him enough to be like, listen, this next one's yours, here's the keys.
Exactly.
So that's very cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's going to be probably into like the 2020s by the time we see that, because we got a few, and that sounds like far away, but that's only a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
But we got a couple more movies to go before like anything like that comes out. So we still have episode 9. We still have the Han Solo,
a solo story.
Yeah. So, yeah. So a couple more movies to come out. This will probably be because we've talked about this on the show. Like episode 9 is going to be like the closure on the Skywalker saga. Like that was always the plan for that to be the end of it. So where do they go after that? And it makes sense to just do nothing with the Skywalker, just completely new characters. Not only that, but like a new area of the universe we haven't seen. So
right,
it makes sense to fit it right as kind of like the next thing after episode 9.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder now. I mean, because one of the biggest draws is Jedi, Sith, and all the rest of it. So, I mean, if it's going to be the end of the Skywalker saga, I mean, does it truly end the Sith and Jedi struggle? That's the question that you gotta. I mean, depending on how they end it off, like I mean, and if you go further on enough years, like does it get rediscovered? And the only thing you got to worry about is basically telling the same story all over again. That's the only hard part with it.
We're getting the Last Jedi. Maybe they could do a story of the first Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, Knights of the Old Republic, I mean, it's really cool, and honestly, it kind of fits in that whole like middle ground where it's just like it's still it's not quite the first Jedi, like you're saying, the first Jedi are Sith, but it's people that are ancient to the actual Republic, so the actual Star Wars saga, and I mean Jedi, Sith, all of it. I mean, it would be a really cool story to see play out on film.
Yeah, absolutely. So exciting there. Hopefully they'll give us a little bit more. We're just kind of speculating right now,
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some more from that, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's just focus on getting to The Last Jedi. So that's the next thing coming up. So cool. All right. So we skipped way ahead on that. So the next thing we were going to talk about, I'll just mention it quickly because we finally got the casting for Billy Batson.
Yep.
So we talked about last week Zachary Levi being Shazam, pros and cons of that. But now we have the kid who's going to be Billy Batson. Funny enough, he came from the Disney side of things. His name's Asher Angel. I don't know what show he was on, but there you go. So let's move on to the next thing, and that is actually really big news that came out this week, and that is that DC has poached the roster of Marvel essentially, and said, "Hey, Brian Michael Bendis, do you want to come over and join our camp?" And he's like, "Yeah."
And an exclusive on top of that, so just exclusively for them.
It said multi-year, multifaceted. So multi-year, obviously, exclusive for them, just what that means, but multifaceted. So he's going to be writing whatever books, he's going to be on her book, but also he's getting a seat next to Jeff Johns at the sort of creative table for the DCEU. Yeah. So he has experience with film and animated, right? He did, I think it was Ultimate Spider-Man, right? So he has experience with that and kind of like storyboarding and scripting for film. So he'll be, and that's really enticing to him. He was always trying to get back to. Actually, he started with Marvel, or he started actually doing writing and art. And it was Joe Quesada who was like, "No, you need to focus just on writing for now." So he's kind of like, that's something that he likes to do. So, being able to kind of get back to that, being have his hand in the cinematic world like he used to do. Like he was on the creative committee with Marvel, which influenced the film side of things. And there was a big like breakup and falling out with Perlmutter and stuff a few years back, and that disbanded. And ever since then, he's been like, "Oh, I need to do something." So then who knows how much money they offered him, but I think it's pretty exciting to see what he has and shake things up, fresh things, new stories. He's kind of getting a little bit stale. Like Jessica Jones, the current volume isn't doing that well in the sales. I don't have them really to pull up here from Comic-Con, but I know at least in the past couple months, they've been pretty low on sales. So it'll be nice to have him do something fresh, because when he's good, he's really good. Like, especially when he was writing like Alias and stuff, like way back in the day, that was like Bendis being a really good Bendis. So I hope with this type of like refreshing, he can get back to that quality that he used to be known for.
I think this man really strengthens. I mean, it's obvious, but I think it strengthens DC even more because they're already doing good in their sales. A lot of people have really ditched Marvel because of the crap that they're pulling off with the crappy lenticulars, crappy stories, crappy art, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is just, more weaponry for their arsenal. I think it's a really good idea. I can't wait to see what he's going to end up doing because you mentioned Ultimate Spider-Man. I was actually subscribed to that, and that was a pretty good storyline in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it too. Like, I mean, they've still got more books that they're going to roll out, though I don't think they're going to put him on anything that isn't like top tier. They're not going to give him, like Booster Gold. Like that's not going to be his first book out of the gate.
He's gonna get Justice League.
I kind of think
so. I think he's gonna get Justice League, just because.
But then again, I've liked Bendis' teams, but I think I've liked more of his solo character stories. So I don't know where I would want him.
I like how he does Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he could do Huntress. That would be cool.
I'd like to see him do Green Lantern. I think he could do a really good job with that.
Yeah.
But I think that I would see him. I honestly see him in the role of just being like, it's going to be the Justice League that I can really revamp and just kind of, get them back into the front seat of the DCU. Following the movie and everything like that. I think that's where you'll see him go.
Yeah. The other thing is what's going to happen to his creator-owned stuff that was, I think it's under Icon, right? The imprint for Marvel.
Yeah.
He has like 2-3 books under that are like really takes forever to come out, but will those go to like Vertigo maybe, or will they stay with Icon, or who knows?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
He.
I agree with Iron Galactus. He's like, why do we lose Bendis, but we can't get rid of Dan Slott?
Yeah.
Maybe he's next. You don't know.
Yeah. Who they're also trying to get is Hickman.
Yeah.
They've been courting him, and he hasn't said yes yet. But yeah, he'd still be doing like Image books and stuff like that. But
that's the thing. Like people were just like, oh my God, Hickman! Oh, it's just like, yeah, but it's not an exclusive. He can still work for Marvel. Or whoever else he wants to. It's just one of those things where that they're showing interest because and it makes sense that they're trying to get a good stable of writers for and honestly I think it's not so much just for the comics but for that what's it called, entertainment universe. I think that they're trying to really flesh out the movies, get some new people in there. What they also need to do with that is get some different directors. If they get some different directors to stop making those movies, some other just some other names that are gonna like really produce the look and feel that they want and try to get away from that Zack Snyder approach, they could actually really start making a splash with it. It's just the fact is they've gone with that whole Snyder look and feel that they have to step away from that and start making things that look and feel a little different.
Yeah. They're already moving away from that. I mean, I think now that Snyder stepped away with the tragedy that happened earlier, they got Whedon coming in, all these other people. I think, and especially when Wonder Woman, like the response to that, they're like, "Wow, we need to brighten things up, literally and figuratively." So,
yeah.
Philly Superman kind of reminded me of something. I remember Snyder when the New 52 launched. Snyder was doing at least 2 or 3 titles. He was doing Talon. He was doing Batman, he was doing Swamp Thing, and I think maybe one more. So you could easily have Bendis doing more than one title. It wouldn't surprise me at all. At the same time,
but it's just one of those things where you don't want to burn them out too quickly and have them like, all right, we're gonna throw you all this, like basically completely revamp, all these titles all at once. It's just like, let the guy work. Let him at least establish himself. And because the worst thing you can have is have him, big deal signed, all the hype around him, and then all of a sudden it's just like, the fans don't respond to his story right away. Like, he's probably gonna need a little bit of time to kind of settle into a groove with the characters and stuff that he's gonna be making.
I feel like if they put him on Justice League, he's going to be like, this is Justice League. You know what we need? An event. And everyone's going to be like, no, not yet.
That's what Doomsday Clock was all about. Don't do that. I don't know. You know, I mean, do you think that he's really the type to push for an event? I mean, do you think that?
Well, I mean, he did like Age of Ultron. He did Siege. He did House of M. He did. I think he did Disassembled. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's kind of the guy that kicked off the endless event cycle that Marvel started, like since the early 2000s.
He's been involved in some way or another with every
Secret War.
Yeah. So
Secret War. I think he did. The one where we got
because he introduced Daisy Johnson.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, with the shiny covers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old Quake.
Yep. So people are saying maybe a second, third tier character, right?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like someone of his talent because of its
side book.
I mean, but that's like you know you take. Like if you go in with a sports metaphor, it'd be like back in the day if like, you know, the Red Sox just so happened to make a trade or something happened where we got Derek Jeter and it's just like, all right, look, you're not going to start off at shortstop. You're going to be playing AAA for a little bit. We want to make sure that you're actually the player that we want here. It's just like, no. Like
yeah, but you got to get hazed a little bit, you know, especially that first week in there. You got to get hazed a little bit by the new team. Like,
well, of course, but and that's what I feel like too. But it's still, you know, it's just like, you know, give him a third tier. I mean, unless you want to reinvent a third tier character, absolutely. Like if you think that he's got the ability to, you know, take somebody like a Blue Beetle and make him into something fucking badass, yeah, why not? But
you don't test it that way. You test it by putting him on a team book and then introducing that character on the team book and building interest, and then doing the miniseries, which like a couple people have chimed in the chat here and said something about him doing like maybe an Elseworld story or something to start off. I think that would be awesome. Just like, here, tell a Batman story you want to tell. It's Elseworld, doesn't exist anywhere. Just tell a story. This will be your first dip into DC, and then we'll put you on whatever real title, you know.
How about like a DC Comics Presents title?
Right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or a DC What If, you know.
Well, that's kind of like what DC Comics Presents was. It's kind of like the kind of like a standalone. Not necessarily like, you know, something that's not existent, but it's just like kind of standalone one-shot little story that kind of, you know, introduced sometimes new characters or just, you know, was just a like self-contained kind of story with like Superman meeting up with some character that you wouldn't normally see him, you know, interact with. Captain Carrot. All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
Captain Carrot. Sold.
Captain Carrot.
All right, so let's move on to the next thing, and that is that Netflix. So let me kind of preface it. We've all heard about it. We talked about it here, multiple shows, but Netflix bought Millar World. Mark Millar's, obviously, his company, his publishing company. So all the talk was about, okay, well, that means that some of his books, his titles, are going to be adapted to whether it's a Netflix original movie, TV series, whatever it is. But the flip side of that is now that now Netflix has access to a very competent, viable publishing arm, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, that means we may get like a Stranger Things comic book or, you know, anything like that. You know, I think, what's another one that's good?
House of Cards, well, was good, but
no, we're not going there. We're not going there. A Narcos, we could get a Narcos comic book, right? So there's a lot of potential there. But the first thing they're going to be doing, they're going to be making a comic book through Mark Millar. It's called The Magic Order, and it's going to be a mini series coming out in the spring, and it's going to be him writing, and then I'm trying to remember. I think it's Oliver. What is it? Copel in the art. Copel, yeah. So it's basically a bunch of I think like 5 families of like magic users. They live in the modern world. They're kind of like hidden because they don't want people to know they do magic. But then there's somebody going around and they start like killing these people in these families. So they have to come out of the shadows and like let people know they exist. At the same time they're dealing with that, they're trying to find out who's killing them. So it sounds pretty cool. 6 issues it'll be, and it will be through like Diamond, so you can order it the regular way you get your books. But I think that's pretty huge news that Netflix is now doing a comic book, and there's a lot of potential there for future stuff as well. So
yeah, crossover shows and or comics. Like what's that Will Smith movie? That it's a Netflix exclusive movie. That
right?
sounds like it would be a pretty cool comic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it seemed like a comic the way they described it. So, I feel like Netflix has kind of been wanting to go that route for a while, and this gives them the platform to kind of branch out and diversify a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think right now, Mark's kind of like competition is Robert Kirkman because he made the huge deal as well, right?
Yeah.
They're doing what's it called? The Comeback. It was Ed Brisson, Michael Walsh. It was a 5-part mini, I think it was, back in a few years back. So Kirkman is teaming up with the guy who did Colossal, the Anne Hathaway movie, where it's like, I don't know if you guys remember, there was like her.
All the previews.
She had things in her mind, and there was like a monster on the other side of the world, and she could control it.
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it came out I think last year. It wasn't in theaters that long, but Anne Hathaway was in it. Nacho Vigalondo is his name.
It was it Anne Hathaway or was it one of the Deschanel girls?
It was Anne Hathaway.
Oh, okay.
Jason Sudeikis was in it too.
Jason Sudeikis, huh?
Yeah. So they're doing that. Sony grabbed the rights for it, so they'll be doing that. But there's going to be a lot of movement with Kirkman and Skybound and Amazon. At the same time, we're going to be seeing a lot of news around Mark and Netflix and what they're doing there. So, between Disney streaming, Netflix, Amazon, there's big like streaming wars happening right now. This is like the big like outside of cable type of news right now. Like this is blowing away, anything on TV really right now. ABC, FX, all these channels, CW even. Like CW is doing pretty well, but like Netflix and all these others not on TV. They're called OTT. They go over the top, like over the cable provider right to you. Those are the biggies right now. And that said, as we've said before, the wave of the future, absolutely. So I don't know. I'm rambling on. Why don't you guys talk?
I mean, I'm waiting for somebody to come out with a package where this is the price and you get Netflix, Hulu, and whatever else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that bundle package.
Well, that's the thing. If you're cable, you have to be afraid because I mean, this is definitely uncharted water as far as where do you go from it? Because it's just like these things are a lot cheaper. They offer a lot more content, in a lot more convenient of a fashion where I can watch, an entire season of a show. So long as it's up and ready, I can just watch it. I don't have to worry and wait and all the rest of it. So it's just like that instant gratification factor of it is huge.
We'll be doing that next week with The Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where you really do have to take notice and be like, what do we do with this? Like how do we combat? How do we at least coexist or stay viable in an environment like this? Because I mean, it's going to change. It's a game changer, and it really is kind of weird. Like I said, weird territory to be in if you're one of those companies, because it's just like how do you stay in your comfort zone and know that this literally is looming over you, and there's big exclusive deals being done that have nothing to do with your company and nothing to do with any of the content that you provide. Like that's kind of scary if you're one of them.
Exactly. Here's another one for you since we're talking about this. Amazon.
Yep.
They put out an order this week actually for 8 episodes for The Boys.
Yeah.
Book. Yeah.
Yep.
So I hope they stay true to the story when they do that. If they do, it'll be super cool. But yeah, that's another one that came out. And that's going to Amazon streaming.
It's crazy, man. I mean, it's one of those. It's a great time to kind of be a consumer as far as television is concerned. As far as anything having to deal with streaming and all that, just because it's like you're being finally rewarded for loyalty to. Because I remember Netflix being kind of like DVD subscription, and then slowly but surely they started putting stuff out there. So it's just like, all right, there's a few movies I like, but for the most part, there's really nothing to once you ran out of things to watch, you still would go back to like Blockbuster and television and everything like that. But now it seems like they're kind of, they have the keys to go forward and to really make some good stuff. So I think that it's exciting, and having, like I said, having your loyalty rewarded is a good thing. So definitely excited to see where it goes forward with this.
Yeah. So speaking of going forward, they're moving forward with Suicide Squad 2.
Sweet.
And apparently that's where we'll get Black Adam, The Rock.
Oh
yeah. So that's where he'll be introduced. Yeah. So they're going to be tracking down the team that they're like tasked to track down WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. And one of these WMDs is Black Adam.
That's going to be, I mean, the
They're
only
not going to actually fight him, just introduction, right?
I don't know.
I mean, they can't really fight him. The only magical based person they have is Enchantress.
Well, but it's a Suicide Squad though, so the roster should change a good bit.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see some people going away.
Right. So we should see characters that might be like near his power level, but not quite his power level. You know what I'm saying? At least one person on the team would have to be able to be the big hitter. The heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So long as Rick Flag dies, I'm happy. Kill off Rick Flag. I hate him. Kill him.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to see on that.
It'll probably be Harley Quinn.
It could be. I mean, she was taking out demons with a bat. That's all I gotta say. That's literally what made me just be done with that movie. When you have straight out assault rifles, M16 not doing anything, and then this girl just 110-pound girl with a bat, whap, what? And these things are dropping like flies. I'm like, get the hell out! No.
Yeah.
No.
Harley versus Squirrel Girl. Who could win?
Her popularity was soar above Batman's.
And who approved her to wear that in a close quarters combat situation?
Right.
All right, so let's talk about The Lost.
Oh, Batman the Lost.
Yeah. Wah, wah.
He's so sad.
What do you guys think of the book? Do you like it?
I'm going to tell you exactly what I said in the chat earlier. That book sucks donkey dick. Donkey. Man.
Hulk Ragnarok.
The problem, I mean, the art wasn't too bad in this one. I can say that. The art wasn't too bad. But the thing is, it's just like, they're wasting. So, literally, I wonder if it was just a decision of, we could make one book, fit everything into it, one big trade, but we don't want people paying $20 for something they're not going to like. So what we're going to do is space it out over time, and then we'll give them 6 to 8 books that they're just not going to like and charge them. And it's just really, it's just been a big waste. It's been a huge waste, and it's just not really worth the time. And it's just, I mean, like I said, these introductions could have been done in a few pages, or just the beginning of one of the, just in flashbacks, maybe even like little bitty flashbacks in a metal book.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just I mean, if you buy them and you like them, great. But for the most part, I mean, it's just money could be well spent on other things. This has just really been disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be my thought on it. Well, the story itself wasn't horrible. Sure, it was kind of cool, but it didn't need its own book. That was my thing with it. Is it could totally have been, like we've been saying, you could have thrown all these in together as one book, and people would have bought that just to get all the stories. Yep. This one we didn't really learn anything in this book.
No,
we didn't
exactly.
It did not move the story forward at all. A part of the story we hadn't heard yet, but so
I mean, there was some funny.
Board's better. Go ahead.
There was some. I liked the beginning. I mean, there was some funny parts. How he had pretty much every story he's ever been a part of in a library, and I agree with what Chris said. The artwork. I mean, I know you have multiple artists on this book, but there were definitely some really nice pages. As I was reading, I was looking at some pages. I was like, oh man, I wonder if that's for sale. So, I'm already getting my trying to get my fix with this original art. But I don't know. I mean, It was okay. One of the most exciting things I actually saw in the book was the very last page, I think. Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2. That's what I was really excited about. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. Just donkey dick.
It wasn't horrible. Like for me, it wasn't like a 0. You know, it was okay. You know,
It wasn't a 0, but
I liked I liked the concept, I guess. Like I liked what he was trying to do with the story, but it just quite wasn't there for me. You know, like it was just I felt like there was just something missing that just kept it from going over the top.
Right, like this needed to be a story that we already knew. Like this should have been something we saw way earlier on, and it would have fit in better. Now you're just throwing it in later, and we don't care anymore.
Yep.
I did like the part where like Damian.
Sorry, Jesse.
Damian pretty much just killed his own dad right there. You know, told him to open fire on his own dad, and that was kind of cool. Even though it didn't show you the actual assault, but I just like that whole part about Damian.
I still say donkey.
That's pretty cool. I liked it in the library how there was like books, and one of them was like Court of Owls and a couple others. So that was like
Nightfall.
Cool nod. Yeah, cool nod. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. Like I don't know. I'm gonna.
We still wanted it to be good.
Yeah, like it had so much potential to be so much more than it was. You know, I guess that's the frustrating part about it.
Yeah.
I guess I would give it a 2 3/4 out of 5. So slightly above exactly average, which would be 2.5 out of 5. That's my rating for it. This is one that I would say you can wait on this one. You don't need to read this, you know, for the metal story. You can wait. If you really want it, it'll be half off. Your shop's going to have a half off sale eventually. Wait till then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go right in the middle with a 2.5 just because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was just like, I mean, it was okay. It was just the wrong time for this story.
Yeah, I give it just a straight out 2. I think mine. No, seriously, I think mine is
higher than I was expecting.
Frustration, just because, you know, it's just getting to be annoying. I mean, you know, it's not a good story, and it's just really just come on, man. Like there's, like, it seems like every single week we say close to the same exact thing, where it's just like, you know, oh, they could have done. It's just like, you know, it's. I mean, I know it's been set in motion, and they're not going to just, you know, pretty much kill it off. But it's just like, I mean, to know that this is where they're going with it, to know that this is, you know, what is basically going to be passable for it. It's just like,
yeah,
it's just, you know, I mean, literally a couple of flashback scenes, something that, you know, kind of tie things together. No problem. But it's just.
This is your fault, people. You voted on this. You made us talk about this.
No more votes on this.
Yeah. We're still going to do the poll. Still be up on Twitter every week, but
no more metal books.
No more metal.
Yeah.
Please.
Fine. You know, there's plenty of other books out there. You know, I mean, it's not even just. I just think that, you know, I mean, if they ever do finally get to that building point where they're just like, yeah, we got it, and like, I mean, once they finally hit the area where they want to go and move forward and kind of reveal everything and have the story going in the direction that I guess they want to have it going. I mean, maybe we'll be like, oh, you know what? It was all worth it. We're all, you know, we were all just kind of impatient and we wanted to get there too quickly. But I mean, Jesus Christ, it's just like, it's literally like being dragged uphill by an old dog and an old dog sledge. Just like, oh my God, please, can we just get to the top of the hill? No,
exactly.
Not there yet.
Waiting for that big old drop on the roller coasters, like,
yep, it's just like
cranking up. It's like, come on, this payoff better be good.
So exactly.
What you're saying is, by the time they get to the epilogue, it'll make sense.
with your multiple syllable words,
and there'll be one page on one in the last book. They
right,
tie it all together.
Yeah,
it was all a dream.
Batman wakes up.
Yep,
when it was all worth it. Like, no, it wasn't.
Simulation over.
I mean, we did get some cool looking villains, though.
Yeah, you did. I mean,
yeah.
But
the Cenobite guy, he's cool.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows that was a Batman Who Laughs is the star of the show. If you're not doing more with him, you're wasting your time. I mean, literally, like the Drown looks. I mean, she looks cool, but there's not much to her. She's the underwater Night King. It's not really all that great or fun. It's just like, you know, there's so much build. There's so much build, and it's just like I'm with you guys. Like the payoff has to be incredible. If it falls short, people just we got scammed out of this event. This sucks. Doomsday Clock hopefully makes up for it. You know, I mean that's what I think people. I mean, I kind of get the feeling that's what this is. It's just kind of a holdover until Doomsday Clock, and it's like, oh, okay, now this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, coming off a New 52, you know, Batman with Snyder and Capullo, like expectation was so high for this. You know, maybe that was part of it. Like we thought we were going to be getting like a, you know, modern day classic right away, but it's not quite.
You know,
there
Jesse,
for us.
Since you bring this up, one of the things I noticed that we haven't done in a while is, and I know it's getting late in the show now, but maybe next week, look at the diamond sales and see if these metal books are selling a lot. I mean,
but even if they're selling a lot, the stories still suck. I mean, it's just you're buying something subpar because it's what's available to you.
No. But I would like to see like the drop off in sales, like to see like you know, the Red Death versus Merciless, you know, and see the in between there on those, and see what that actually is versus the actual core book of metal. So maybe we can look into that and bring you those numbers next week, everybody.
Yeah, I'll run the numbers. Bring them next week. Yeah. Put that on the list there. But I do have a question for you guys. It's pretty important. Kind of serious.
Oh.
Who's smarter in your opinion? And don't just say one name. Give me some evidence why. Lex Luthor or Dr. Doom?
Man.
Luthor.
I don't know.
I have to say Luthor.
Luthor is a 9th level intellect who Brainiac killed before he could speak to Superman because he knew that Lex Luthor would have Superman kill himself inside of 2 minutes. So there you go.
Okay, but Dr. Doom became a god.
It became a god
By accident.
He ruled over Battle World.
He also, as a college student.
Wait. But you said who's smarter, not who has more power.
Okay.
But then think about it, like as a college student, so as a 18-year-old college student, you know, Domo at Reed Richards, he learned how to make a machine that would rip open, you know, dimensions to get to Mephisto's lair to, you know, go ahead and, you know, try to get his mother back. He went ahead and he learned mystical arts, even though he wasn't, you know, basically nobody would teach him it. I mean, he's got some. Dr. Doom, I think, is a little smarter than Lex Luthor. I think, you know, in terms of business savvy, yeah, you know, Lex Luthor all day. But I definitely think that I would give it to Doom. I really would.
Yeah. All right. Rebel says Doom is more ego, whereas Lex is more of an intellectual.
I don't know about that.
What I was thinking.
Lex is a completely ego, 100. But I mean, Project Superman. He sat there and made all those people into superheroes just to sit there and press a button and watch them all die because he's like, that's what he wants to see Superman die. Like he's mad that he's not the savior of Metropolis.
But think about all the intellect that goes into him constantly coming up with these ways to kill Superman. Kill this guy who's unkillable. Doom's never had to do that. He just went to hell and got his mom. But that wasn't smarts. That was him just grabbing power. Most of Doom's whole thing is just grabbing power, not like using his intellect to do anything. You know,
creating all, you know, he creates all this crazy technology to like fly through space and like fight Galactus and stuff.
Exactly. It's a tough question because I mean, there's definitely you can really see strengths in both sides, and it's tough.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on this. Like I said, it's very important. For my dissertation. Not really.
My thesis.
Seeking said Joker could be smarter.
Could take some more of those pills, maybe.
No, No, well, you think about it. I mean, if you think about Joker over the years, it's like Harvard does a thing
Joker
every year that they basically try to analyze. Like Harvard Law tries to analyze, Joker as far as like the crimes he's committed. So it's kind of like a little fun project for the lawyers and make them, we're gonna do this little fun, and it's just like they basically hold a trial. Same thing they do with Hamlet to figure out, what, how you'd weigh in on it. And I think that they determined a few different times that they couldn't quite tell whether Joker was just nuts or if he's just a completely, just master criminal who just is so smart that he knows how to play the insane role perfectly. So, I mean, he could be smarter than both of them. You never know. So he just plays the nut so well.
Yeah, true. Iron Galactus, and there's a rebuttal, too. I think it's pretty cool.
Exactly what's happening.
Would a smart man fail 1,000,000 times at killing one person? Lex fails over and over, and Doom succeeds. Ooh. And then Seeking said, a smart man would not kill the only thing that keeps him entertained.
Yep.
So there's some good debate there in the chat as well. Yeah.
Joker's superpowers, he can't die. He can die.
Because of the Dionysium.
Here's the thing. He can die. The thing is that he fights a hero that won't kill him. That's the problem. Same thing with Lex Luthor. He fights a hero that won't kill him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. No, but Joker's got the Dionysium crap. That's why he can't die. So. Got to read the books.
Dionysium.
Yeah. We're going to have to continue that debate later. If you're watching this later, let us know in the comments.
Tell us what you think.
Lex or Doom.
Who's smarter?
And,
and nobody be a jerk and say Dr. Octopus. I'm not.
Yeah. No. Dr. Doom has to be Doom. All right, cool. And then we'll have fun little things like that. Last week we were talking about something else. We had a question like that. Oh, who had a stronger punch? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll come up with something for next week. And I think that's pretty much it for the topics we had for you guys. Oh, one more thing, actually. There's a tease. Something's coming next week with Kick-Ass and Hit Girl. We don't quite know what it is, but he was saying, watch next week. Some news is dropping for Kick-Ass. So if that means a new book, if that means a new movie, if that means it's going to be, a series, streaming series, we'll let you know when we find out. That'll be next week. So there you go. Next week's going to be a big show.
Yeah.
No, it won't. The week after will.
Are we going to have
Punisher and Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the Lees. Stan Lee, Jim Lee, Jay Lee.
McFarlane.
Yeah. McFarlane Lee.
McFarlane.
Yeah. So we'll have a lot of people there. But what are you guys up to this weekend? Any plans? Anything going on?
Well, this weekend's Rhode Island Comic-Con. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I was hoping to, just because there's a few signatures I wanted to get. But if I do end up making it, I will let you guys know. But I highly doubt it will be. Other than that, I am going to be trying to.
Yeah, sorry.
If we get Bruce Lee on the show, I'm like literally. That's going to be the pinnacle of my life.
Force Ghost Bruce Lee have to be.
It'd be like Bruce Lee and from like Illinois, like, hi, I'm Bruce Lee. I make pizzas. Like, oh, hi, Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's the second printing of the Spirits of Vengeance, the Ken Lashley one. I think they just released the cover itself with Nolan Tecula. So I'm gonna try to see if I can score that this weekend at my local shop. Maybe not, but that's what I'm keeping my eye out for. Other than that, just kind of just enjoying the weekend. So
sweet.
That's pretty much it. Gonna put up my haul video, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, just kind of regular old, just chilling out.
Sweet, good stuff. All right, Justin, what are you up to?
Ooh, going to this con, man. It's $5
$5 con.
$5 to get in. Buy all the comics you want. No, I mean, same thing I normally do with one of these cons is I'm just going to see what's there and see what's happening, see if I can find any deals, or more importantly, see how outrageous, New Mutants 98 is. So it's
right?
hilarious to see how that book just keeps going up, going up, up.
Yeah. Same with 300. Check the raw 300 prices for us too. ASM 300.
Oh, okay. More.
Just kind of curious. Yeah.
It's nuts. Those two books just constantly go up. I've never been to a con and they were the same price they were at the last con. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a crazy thing. But yeah, I'll definitely look for some Cap 100 prices and things like that. Just give you guys like what some of these con prices here in Georgia are. You know.
Yeah.
So I'll update that next week.
Give us a post-con report, debrief.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
I don't know. It's kind of the first time I'm going to a con though, and I don't have like a key book in mind that I'm looking for. So it's going to be interesting. That's the most
fun part, man.
Yeah.
You just go in there just blind and go to the bins and hope that you find some treasure.
Yep. Yeah. With no expectations.
Yeah. A lot of times when I go to a con, I'm going for the signatures. That's really like I look at the list, and that's kind of my target. And then for the bins and the wall books, I don't really have a game plan for that. I just kind of see what I come across.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's fun that way. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right, Edwin, what are you up to this weekend?
Just a lot of pressing, man. I'm going to be busy the rest of the week, just doing a crap ton of pressing. Shout out to Seeking Near Mint Comics. He gave me some props on some of the stuff I've been doing, and keep putting those pictures out. And send me your books if you've got any books that you want pressed. Send me your books because I'm actually in the market for another press. I want to get up to where I can get 10 presses and just going crazy with it. Cooking books.
Press Factory. Nice. Yeah, I like you've been posting a lot on Instagram of the books and the results, like multiple pictures of it, you know, the before and after for. Really cool to see that. So keep doing that, definitely. Yeah. Those are good.
For shizzle.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I have a haul coming up, back issues. Waiting for that book. I was hoping it would come in today, so hopefully it'll be here tomorrow so I can do it over the weekend. So I got that coming up. And that's pretty much it. Maybe some other I have some ideas stewing around in my head for some topic video type things. So maybe you'll see those pretty soon. But that's pretty much it. That's it, guys. This is episode 63. We had a whole ton to talk about. Hope you had fun talking about it with us. Leave us a comment if you're watching this later. Let us know you stopped by, what you thought of any of these topics we talked about. And don't forget to listen and subscribe to us on iTunes. This is Jesse, Comic Conversation. See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.